Okay, hello and welcome to the video. My name is Wade Smith, and this video is about further information about the Isshinryu Karate Self-Defense teaching series that I'm going to be doing. Um, Isshinryu Karate was founded as a combination primarily of Goju-Ryu and Shorin-Ryu, and so Shorin-Ryu was believed to be the best or one of the best open hand styles at the time. It teaches a lot of small circle jiu-jitsu and other jiu-jitsu techniques, and Goju teaches the closed fist techniques, such as the vertical fist punch and your closed fist block. But technically, there are no true blocks in Isshinryu because you're taught that every strike can be a block and every block can be a strike. So you don't, even though you're taught the blocks as basics, by the time you're brown and black belt level, you've certainly heard at least one time that every block can be a strike and every strike can be a block. Um, for example, the double chop block is a counterattack. You're not really blocking, you're attacking your opponent's arm. And if done correctly, it breaks the attacker's arm in a street self-defense situation. And I'll be demonstrating that with a partner. Whenever I get my partners, I'm going to try to get at least one female partner and at least one male partner to demonstrate with, so that I can do a full teaching video series. Um, Isshinryu is, I was first introduced to Isshinryu at about 11 and a half to 12 years old. I was in the adult class, but I would say that, you know, technically kids should not get a full belt promotion until they're no longer a kid at some reasonable age, more like 16 rather than 12. But I was allowed in the adult class because I was bigger than average for my size, and I was actually able to beat adults in real fighting, real full contact sparring by the time I reached their same belt ranking. So that's why I was allowed into the adult class right away. And also, my brother was training with me, and he's 3.5 years older than me, or actually, yeah. So, and since he had a driver's license by then, or at least a learner's permit at first, we both trained in the same class together. And he learned at a faster pace than me because he was older and more mature than me at the time, I guess. So by the time I was a light green belt, he was 2 belts ahead of me. He was a purple belt. Um, and For reasons I'm not going to go into, we both had to quit then the first time I took Isshinryu around the time he was a purple belt and I was a light green belt. Then a few years later, I started taking Isshinryu karate again under Sensei Mark Myers. Uh, Isshinryu absorbs the best of every style, so it'll use, unlike most other styles of karate, we actually have weapons training in Isshinryu. We have the Okinawan bow, the sai, and the tuifa are the 3 official weapons of Isshinryu, and then everyone under Arsenio James Advincula hierarchy of dojos also studies kama and eskrima sticks. And we also have an extra kama and eskrima stick kata. So there are 8 official unarmed katas in Isshinryu and 8 official armed katas of Isshinryu. But then your sensei can add additional stuff if he wants to teach it, like additional weapons and additional unarmed techniques. Uh, I do know around 300 submissions that start from the standing position, and I can name around 50 of them by name to this day. I mean, just a few of them are the front wrist lock, the full wrist lock, reverse wrist lock, double cross arm wrist lock. Uh, any combination of wrist lock and submission, combined striking will submit somebody. Sidearm control, for example, with combined striking will submit somebody. I got this one here, which I invented as far as I know, which I call vice. You put your finger under the person's nose and push up into the top of the teeth, the gums, and the nose there, and put your other hand behind them and squeeze as hard as you can. And their head will go wherever your hand on the nose is pointing them to go, which is back. But you can force them to not be able to go back, and then they'll tap. Um, and it does hurt so bad that they can't even think to throw a punch. It hurts that bad, and that's just one finger one finger of the inside. I've actually tapped a heavyweight black belt in Gracie Jiu-Jitsu using only my pinky, up using that on the front of his nose, and he could not get away from it. The same gentleman I also tapped using this muscle right here, with my thumb on the inside of it, and he said, yes, that works for street self-defense, but it's banned in MMA. This is not banned in MMA. You can actually use it. I've never seen any of them use it because maybe they don't know it, but it works. For street self-defense, you have to hit somebody full power to end the fight as quickly as possible. Our theory in Isshinryu karate under Arsenio James Advincula and his hierarchy of students, and under Mark Myers, was that you needed to win a street fight within 10 seconds or less because you don't know if there's a second attacker about to join in to the fight. If you already know there are two attackers, you need to be able to beat one attacker in 5 seconds or less to stand much chance against the second guy. And yes, I can, in fact, beat multiple brown and black belts attacking me. Again, the only reason I never got my own black belt is because I had to quit around that time. But I was already beating senseis first and second degree black belts in handicap matches. And I'm going to teach you the techniques and prove that I know how to do that on video, because one of the first things I'm going to do is introduce the concept of multiple attack drills, because that's something that some people neglect, especially in sport fighting, because they don't think about it. But in real street self-defense situations, especially women, they need to be introduced to multiple attack drills. A woman doesn't necessarily just have to be able to defend against one male attacker. She needs to be able to defend against two male attackers in order to protect herself, because there's such a thing as gang rape. And I'm going to teach you eventually how to do that. Scientifically, if you execute correctly, it will work every single time. The gist of it is, if you get sidearm control on your first attacker, you keep their body between yourself and the second attacker until you defeat the first attacker fully. And then once you get him beaten into submission, hopefully the second guy runs away. But if not, you have to beat up the second guy until he gives up too. All right, that's going to be the end of this video. I think I've introduced the concepts. So Isshinryu incorporates originally Shorin-ryu and Goju-ryu and 4 other styles. And then we incorporate Kenpo, the 5 swords destruction, the 5 swords combo from Kenpo and a couple other Kenpo combinations. Sword of destruction, which I admit I don't remember exactly which style it originally comes from. Combat judo, small circle jiu-jitsu from standing position, and other grappling techniques. And Brazilian Gracie Jiu-Jitsu is pretty much incorporated into Isshinryu now, because we all cross-train in all of this. We're encouraged to cross-train in other styles of martial arts. So we teach everything. If we find a better way of doing something, we teach it as the new preferred way of doing something, and we teach the old best way as the second best known way to do something. See what I'm saying? So we improve on it nonstop. So that's the end of this video. Thank you very much.